been hearing the government has announced a new scheme to help pay the wages for companies hit by coronavirus. In the last hour, the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, launched what some are calling Furlough Mark II. There's also a continued tax break for hospitality and tourism firms who've been hardest hit with the pandemic. Now, our business correspondent, Dave Harvey, is at a pub in Somerset for us this lunchtime. So, Dave, how's the news going down there?
Good afternoon, Alex. And it does seem a world away from Westminster, doesn't it? Not the House of Commons, but the lovely old beams and a cosy lunch with friends. But of course, everything's changed. Move around here, you have to wear a mask, of course. As I sit down, though, at my table, well, I don't need the mask. And thanks, Michelle, I can have a drink, which of course is brought to me by a member of staff, no queuing at the bar. But they really are having to go through all the numbers in pubs like this, Alex. And I'll tell you why. Well, simply, there are fewer customers. They have to be. They're more spaced apart. And many people are still a bit worried about going out. What that means is, well, if the new system comes in, the government essentially are going to support part-time work. So I could work for a third of my hours, and the remaining 66%, well, the government will pay 22%, the employer 22%, and I, as an employee, would lose 22% of my wages. Now, Rishi Sunak was very pleased with himself announcing this morning, but a lot of people I've spoken to already, including pub landlords and big hospitality chains, they say, so you end up paying 55% of someone's wages, but you only get 33% of their hours. Is that going to make sense when they're already short of money? We're not sure, and that's really where the head scratching is going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I bet we get a lot of emails about that, actually, as businesses kind of take that in. From tonight as well, of course, it's early closing, isn't it? Well, they're closing at 10 p.m. So what difference do they think this is going to make, both to the spread of coronavirus, but also to the profits of these restaurants and bars?
Well, that's right. It's not only fewer customers further apart, but of course, over a shorter period of time. Lots of changes here. I mean, if you take here, they've got the lovely old glass over there rather than the perspex screens that are being used. But in city centres, it can really make a difference. We're going to be in the centre of Bristol tonight, Alex, to see what a difference it makes. I'll tell you what, in the northeast, they found that cutting the hours from 10 to 11 and sometimes even 10 to 12, well, that's already cost many pubs 40% of their takings. It really can be quite a hit.
OK, thanks for that, and we'll speak to you later. Thanks, Dave. Now, some really sad news.